That's how good our country is.
Final question, Dada, before I wrap up. This is the first time I'm speaking to you after you finished your tenure as the BCCI president. How do you look back at it? Did you achieve what you set out to, or do you think it's a thankless job? Because, you know, usually in India...
No, it's not a thankless job.
Okay.
It's not a thankless job.
A lot of criticism comes your way also.
So that comes everywhere. India captain also gets criticized. India coach also gets criticized. If you don't get runs, the player will get criticized. So that is part and parcel of any job. So it's not just being a BCCI president. I consider it as a huge honor. And I came in when I was president and Jay was secretary, Arun was treasurer, Rajiv Shukla was vice president. So we came in at a time when it has just come out of the COA regime and it was in a bit of a mess. We had to clean things up and put it back. Then COVID came in, two of the worst years the world has ever seen. You know, to organize IPL in COVID in 2020 was an unbelievable effort, and not just by us, but even the staff who work. To take it to Dubai, landing in Dubai, and then realizing 6 or 7 CSK players have been hit with COVID. And to come out of it and go through 2.5 months, complete the tournament without COVID issues was phenomenal. The World Cup couldn't happen in 2020 because of COVID. So I think that was one. Then winning in Australia, that was a positive. Although we don't have much contribution in that, players ultimately play. Then England, how they played, there were a little bit of drawbacks with India not qualifying in the World Cup in Dubai. So then the IPL came in, the new broadcast rights of IPL, that's the job of administrators. You know, to see IPL just go through leaps and bounds and get past all major leagues in the world, and it's only a tournament for 2 months. So the women's, and I think the biggest positive of the 3-year regime was the development of women's cricket. You know, when we started in 2019 and then finished in 2000, I finished in 2022, Jay is still the secretary. So when to see women's cricket go that far was fantastic. You know, Commonwealth Games final, winning the Asia Cup, and in both the times, the Commonwealth, you watched it on TV, it was India's game to win. Beating Australia, who was miles ahead of any team in the women's tournament. So a lot of good things. You know, 3 years is a restricted time. That's what tenures are. You can do as much, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'd been president of CAB 5 years before that. 5 years before that, and I loved it. So it was a great honor.
We had asked Sachin Tendulkar a short while ago that, you know, you've had Roger Binney, you had Saurav Ganguly, will you also be board president? To which he had said, no, I was never a fast bowler, you know, so only fast bowlers are qualified to become, because Roger Binney has
you recognize me as a fast bowler, huh? Thank you for that. Thank you for
no, the reason, just the reason I asked you about that board president question, because you have to take tough calls, right? Is it a comfortable position to be in? You have to take tough calls when it comes to, you know, the coach, the captain, or just the way cricket is run. In hindsight, you know, how do you look at it? All the calls that had to be taken.
You know, we had this thing in mind that we'll do what is best for players and best for the game. The contracts came in, the players' salaries got increased, the women's salaries got doubled, the first class salaries got into 5 times. So that's all we can do. We can't play. So we did that. IPL went 4 times, 3-4 times. So as an administrative side, this is all what the NCA is coming up. It should be ready in a year's time. It's almost done, and I keep asking Jay whenever I meet him, how far was it? Because that was something very special to me, to create a infrastructure which is the best in the world, because BCCI has a huge impact in world cricket. So that's what happened. So not many tough calls, a bit of controversy with Virat in the middle. Ravi and Bharat didn't want to continue. We were extremely happy that we got VVS and Rahul, 2 of the biggest names of Indian cricket, into the Indian system. The under-19s winning the World Cup in West Indies. So it's been good. It's been good. Everything you will do will not be good. Everything you will touch will not have a positive outcome. But if you do the majority of it, then I think you've done a good job. But the hardest thing was, you know, and I say that to everyone, that we ran all cricket in spite of COVID.
Yes, it was a tough task.